Thank you everyone for joining the Montana Harvest of the Month Overview webinar. Big thanks to Rural Health Initiative and Amy Royer and Rachel Cisco for hosting this webinar. This webinar will be recorded and the archived version will be available on the Montana Harvest of the Month website at www.montana.edu/MT Harvest of the Month in the Materials and Resources page. We will have an opportunity at the end for you to ask questions, or you can ask questions throughout by using the chat box, and we'll address them at the end. I am Aubrey Roth, and I'll be your host today. I am the Montana Farm to School Coordinator for Montana Team Nutrition Program. Montana Team Nutrition Program is the training arm of the Office of Public Instruction's School Nutrition Programs and is housed here at Montana State University. I am delighted to serve as the coordinator and the main contact of the Harvest of the Month program. Today I will be giving a snapshot of the Harvest of the Month program and how it works. We will continue providing trainings at conferences and online throughout the year, so watch our site for more opportunities. The Montana Harvest of the Month program showcases Montana-grown foods in Montana schools and communities with two main goals of exposing students to new, healthy foods and to support Montana's farmers and ranchers. By showcasing a different food each month, it provides an easy-to-use framework to start or grow farm-to-school programs and provides ideas, resources, and materials. The program is a great way to provide nutrition education, promote healthy school meals, and grow a team for supporting wellness initiatives within the school and community. This is a collaborative statewide program that has been made possible by our awesome partners and funders. Also, Montana Harvest of the Month has been supported by many individuals, many of whom have volunteered their time to help this succeed. Big thanks to the artist, Anthony Malgan, who created the original gorgeous artwork for the program. This map shows the towns in Montana that are home to a registered school or after-school program. We currently have over 130 sites registered for the program. Sites can register at no charge at any time this school year. Check out the map on the Harvest of the Month website or contact me to find out if there is already a Harvest of the Month team in place near you. As I mentioned, this program is a perfect way to start or grow a farm-to-school program. Farm-to-school enriches the connection communities have with fresh, healthy food and local food producers by changing food purchasing and education practices at schools and preschools. Students gain access to healthy local foods as well as education opportunities such as school gardens, cooking lessons, and farm field trips. Farm to School empowers children and their families to make informed food choices while strengthening the local economy and contributing to vibrant communities. Farm to School implementation differs by location, but always includes one or more of the following core elements, as shown on the slide. Procurement. Local foods are purchased, promoted, and served in the cafeteria or as a snack or taste test. Education. Students participate in education activities related to agriculture, food, health, or nutrition, and school gardens. Students engage in hands-on learning through gardening. The definition of local in farm-to-school programs is decided by the school or community and could be defined in ways such as within a certain number of miles, within state lines, or within a region. You choose what makes sense for your area. Farm to School has certainly taken root in Montana. According to the USDA Farm to School Census, in school year 2013-14, 40% of Montana schools reported already participating in Farm to School program, which is up from 38% 2 years prior. We took a year and worked with 12 sites, which included about 30 schools, to pilot test the Harvest of the Month program, and we found that it was even more beneficial than we had hoped. This slide shows some of the many ways it has helped schools. Overall, the program provided an easy way for schools and after-school programs to jump on the farm-to-school bandwagon. Also, it grew collaborations within schools and after-school programs and connections with community organizations and individuals. Further, it increased opportunities for local producers and businesses, increasing economic strength in communities. If you like numbers, you can see how the pilot program provided students with many opportunities to try and learn about delicious, healthy Montana foods. You could also translate this information into the market opportunity for producers, distributors, and food businesses. Let's see how the program works. Each month features a different Montana grown or raised food. We started in September with summer squash, and we end in June with leafy greens. Currently, we're celebrating apples. By providing this calendar in advance and to programs statewide, it makes it easier to find local foods and secure future orders, especially of those winter storage crops. While we prefer that you follow this calendar so that all programs are featuring the same items each month, you are welcome to change the order of the calendar to suit your needs. None of the materials are marked with the month except for the monthly menus. In the future, we plan to add new items and change the calendar so you can continue featuring new foods. Our team is here to help you. We will provide the following to registered sites at no charge. Mail or provide one packet for each site, provide electronic versions of the materials, provide guides and other helpful resources, conduct trainings and provide training materials like we're doing today, be available to answer your questions. While we provide a framework and a plethora of materials to support your program, we do not provide the food you need for meals or snacks. Sites need to locate vendors that work for them. We don't specify who you need to order from. You do that. Our team is happy to help connect Harvest of the Month sites with vendors and producers. We also do not provide a person to do the educational activities, as we hope it becomes part of your school or after-school program. Participating schools and programs have 4 main responsibilities. First, you need to form a team, which is required to register. Second, each site must showcase each Harvest of the Month item using Montana foods at least once during the month in a school meal or snack, an educational activity, and a taste test. Third, each site will use the provided materials and display them in a visible location. And lastly, your team agrees to participate in evaluation. Now let's go through each of these components in more detail using Montfortin School, one of our pilot sites and current Harvest of the Month sites, as an example. Each site should have a team lead who will receive all communications and be responsible for completing the evaluation. This is generally the person who completed the registration. In our example, it happens to be the food service director. At a minimum, the Harvest of the Month team includes an administrator, food service staff, and teacher or educator. We highly encourage bringing in others to serve on the team to help implement the program, which could include producers, students, parents, community organizations, extension agents, SNAP-Ed or FNEP educators, master gardeners, etc. We recommend that you hold a meeting to discuss your Harvest of the Month plan to get started and then regularly meet throughout the year. As one of the monthly components, each site should serve the Harvest of the Month item in a meal or snack at least once during the designated month. Here is the local beef chili served at Montfortin in March. The Harvest of the Month item could be an ingredient in a dish, as shown here, offered on a salad bar or as a side option, or served as a snack. If your school has fresh fruit and vegetable snack program funding, this is a great way to meet your nutrition education requirement. We do provide cooking tips and food service recipes, but you are not required to use only those recipes. The sky is the limit, and we encourage you to send in your favorites. If you are new to working with local farmers and businesses and don't know where to start, check out the local food purchasing guide for Montana schools located in the website or on the Montana Farm to School website. This includes suggestions on how to find local vendors, including the NCAT Farm to Institution Producer Database and Map. Each month, participating schools must conduct at least one educational activity. This could be as simple as teachers reading the fun facts provided in the materials and discussing the foods in class, or as involved as having all students in the school painting with beets and helping to make and then taste beet salad. It works best when a taste test accompanies the lesson so students learn about the food and taste it when they are most interested. Cooking projects are awesome, and the recipes are included in the teacher handouts. To meet the minimum requirements, each site, school or after school program site, needs to do one activity each month, which could be one activity in one classroom. We also provide educational standards connections, after-school activities, Cooking with Kids guide, and a cooking cart guide for registered sites. Research shows that it can take children up to 20 times of trying a food before they will like it. That's a lot of yucks or no thank yous. Taste tests can decrease waste in the cafeteria and help to develop new recipes. The Harvest of the Month taste test should be conducted at least once each month and can be conducted either in the cafeteria or the classroom, or somewhere else that makes sense for your school or program. The taste test should use the tried it, liked it, loved it system, which promotes polite behaviors. Here's a testimonial from one of our pilot sites. There are many ways to conduct taste tests. You can use voting cups as shown here. You could also have a taste-off between two recipes and let the kids vote on which one will be featured in an upcoming meal or snack. Here is another example of how you can make a chart with stickers or tally marks to collect votes. Taste tests are an excellent area for student, parent, or community involvement. Consider partnering with your family and consumer science or culinary classes to prepare and conduct taste tests. SNAP-Ed educators, other extension agents, chefs, and other community members may be interested in helping. Sites should use the materials and display the posters in a visible location, as well as use other signage to highlight the food and activities. Promoting your farm-to-school activities may increase meal participation. We created these menu templates in Microsoft Word to include the fun facts and space for your site's information. This is also a great place to promote the local producers you're working with. Here is an example from our pilot of how to showcase the items and information on a menu and salad bar. As you can see, Montfortin School highlights the Harvest of the Month item in blue and also features where the food came from at the top of their menu. Ronan provides an excellent example of how to promote the items and show the great results from their taste tests, which the students help prepare and serve. At Lowell Elementary in Missoula, they had a Harvest of the Month section on their family bulletin board. The fourth requirement of the program is to participate in evaluation. As shown here, participating schools and after-school programs will have 4 required evaluation components. The beginning of the year survey should be completed by the team lead before the program is implemented. This provides us with a baseline of the program. The mid-year survey will be sent to team leads in January and will gather information about how the program is going. The end-of-year survey should be completed by the team lead for each school or program site at the end of the year in either May or June 2017. The survey is essentially the beginning of the year survey, but requests information from the 2016-17, which is the current school year. Each month, each participating school or after-school program site should submit at least one taste test report. So we made it through the program expectations. Let's see what materials the sites receive. Each registered school or after-school program site receives a printed packet with the following for each month. The gorgeous posters as shown here, and 3 handouts, cafeteria, classroom, and home, that each include fun facts, cooking information, recipes, activities, and more. The packet also includes 1 snazzy static cling that can be written on with dry erase markers for use on a salad bar or on the lunch line. The packet includes one of each of the posters. Posters can also be purchased at the MSU Extension store. Electronic files for both the large and smaller sizes are available for registered sites to print independently if they wish. In addition to the information that is on all of the handouts, the Cafeteria Bites handout also includes the school food recipes that have meal pattern crediting information. The Classroom Bites handout includes activities for elementary students and home-size recipes that make enough for a class to sample. Most months include one raw recipe and one that requires cooking. It also has a list of relevant children's books. The Harvest at Home handout is perfect for sending home to parents or including on a menu, website, or bulletin board. It has the same recipes as the teacher handouts. In addition to electronic versions of all the printed materials I just discussed, registered sites also have access to a slew of resources as listed here, including the logos and illustrations for use on menus and other materials, quick activity suggestions, after-school lessons, Harvest of the Month 101 handouts that are great for explaining the program to different audiences, educational standards that are met with the lessons, guides for taste testing and cooking with kids, and a letter that can be edited and sent home in a newsletter so parents and community members know what to look for throughout the year. We also created written content for each month. You can copy, paste, and edit this newsletter content, which is in Microsoft Word, to fit your menu, newsletter, school announcements, social media posts, etc. Here's a few quick ideas to get your cogs turning about how you might implement Harvest of the Month at your sites. In Ronan, culinary students help prepare and pass out Harvest of the Month taste test samples. Here is their beet salad. Delish. Having their peers conduct the taste test helped encourage other students to try such a daring new food. The verdict? They loved it, and the students who helped conduct the taste test wanted even more involvement in the process. This is a great example of how to conduct a taste test in a cafeteria by placing samples right on a lunch tray. It works best if you are sampling something that will be served later that day or the following day, so the students can try it first and then have the opportunity to select it in their meal or snack later. In Butte, elementary students take a field trip to the high school to work with culinary students, preparing Harvest of the Month recipes such as the squash pancakes shown here. Both the younger and high school students enjoyed their time together. They also have lunch with the Bulldogs, during which individuals from the high school sports teams eat lunch with elementary students, and they're briefed about the Harvest of the Month foods in advance. While clearly this is not an example of Harvest of the Month, Park High School marketing and business students created fun signage to encourage their peers to eat more fruits and vegetables. This is a great example of looking for those partnership opportunities for your program and your team. Think big. In Missoula, the FNEP educator worked with MCPS Food Services to hold a taste test at the parent-teacher conferences night. They tried 2 varieties of apples. She also created a Harvest of the Month bulletin board within the school as shown here. So hopefully you're feeling more confident about how you can be involved in Harvest of the Month. If you're looking for a clear direction of what to do next, might I suggest the following. First, recruit your team and cast a wide net to get people involved. You can find the Harvest of the Month 101 handouts that are tailored to different audiences in the Materials and Resources tab on the Harvest of the Month site, as well as a short video and our past trainings. The recording of today's webinar will be available on that site soon. Second, register your sites online. Third, be sure your team meets to discuss your plan so you know all the required components are covered. There is a recorded webinar online for registered sites that takes you through the expectations, accessing materials, evaluation, and ideas. Lastly, implement your program and share your successes, challenges, and ideas with us. We'd love to hear from you. I'm excited to announce that by the end of this week, we will have an application open for a mini grant program to support implementation of Harvest of the Month programs. Mini grants for $750 will be awarded to schools that will implement the program this school year, engage students in the process such as preparing and serving taste tests to peers, and participate in research evaluation. The application will be available on the Harvest of the Month homepage. On February 16th from 3 to 4, we'll host another hour-long webinar for teachers and after-school educators. This will feature activity ideas, curriculum connections, and examples from current Harvest of the Month sites. Visit the Materials and Resources page on the Harvest of the Month site to register for this free webinar, which is also on the RHI site. We now have a few minutes for questions. You can ask a question in the chat box or over the phone.
Okay, I'm going to unmute everyone's line, and if you want to mute it, you can do that on your own on the side where there's a microphone.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm in a room full of kids, so they're being very quiet though, so hopefully it's going to be fine. But so I guess my question is, I need to actually have in order to even begin, I need to have the person who is in charge of the food service here. I need to, go to her and speak to her and see if she wants to be involved in this. That's where I should start.
Yep, you should start by getting her on board as well as your administrator. And it can be, if it's a big hurdle for them to offer it in a whole school meal, maybe think about a salad bar, or if there's a snack program, that's another great place to start.
I like the idea of the taste testing, and you said something about field trips, which excited me. That would be a lot of fun. So I don't even know, where I would begin with any of this. I mean, it was a lot of information. I was trying to write it down, but it went by so fast.
Yeah, so we have, like I said, there's a number of resources and guides we have available, and then myself and other members of the team are ready to help people on a one-on-one basis. So we can certainly provide you that guidance. The Farm to School website that's shown, that's the montana.edu/MT Farm to School. That also has a ton of resources, and we are developing 2 of those pages right now so that you can have a kind of step-by-step guide of how to do some of these things, including purchasing local foods. That page is done, farm field trips, and other educational opportunities outside of Harvest of the Month. But we do have a lot there for you to support your Harvest of the Month efforts.
Okay, well, I guess what I would do then is just go to the websites and kind of look them over and research and see, what all information I can gather from there, and then, reach out and see if I can't build a team to see if anybody's interested in doing this at my school. I'm with No Kid Hungry, so
Okay.
I'm just here volunteering at this school, but I could see, what the interest is, and I think maybe they've done this before at Troy. That was my other question. Is Troy registered? The Troy schools, are they registered with you?
I'll have to look that up and get back to you. I don't know that off the top of my head. But I would be happy to do that for you and check in. Also check out the Harvest of the Month 101 pages, and those are specifically geared towards food service. There's one for teachers. So that's something you could print off and give to them so they know a little bit more about the program and can kind of decide if that's something that's possible for them.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.
We also have another question in the chat box. The question is, what are examples of how schools have integrated the nutrition education component in the school day? Do they generally do it on a school-wide basis or only one classroom per month?
I would say that most of the Harvest of the Month sites and many of the farm to school programs, it's more based on individual classrooms rather than the whole school. So it's, like the second grade and the fourth grade and the culinary class are focused on doing the lessons. Some schools do have larger opportunities where all of the grades go through some sort of education activity, but mostly it's specific to classrooms. Health enhancement is a great classroom to do that in, since it does fit in with their curriculum and reaches most of the students at the school, especially at the younger grades. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Any more questions?
Just to double check I have the correct information, I need to go to montana.edu/MT Harvest of the Month.
Correct. Yep.
To get all of the information. Go ahead.
Yep. Go to that site, and that you can get to the other farm to school site from there. It's all kind of one thing. So if you look at the toolbar at the top of that page, you can get to any of the resources.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, and definitely contact me if you want to look up whether or not your schools you're working with are already registered.
Okay, Aubrey, just keep your phone number up for a second. I'm writing it down.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. The slides and the recorded webinar will be available on the Harvest of the Month website within the next couple weeks. And please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or want me to look up any sites. The map isn't updated real time, so it's best to just contact me if there's any question. Also, please do take the couple minutes to take the short survey that will follow the webinar. That really helps us as well as RHI out. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. You both have a wonderful day too. And Rachel, you have a great day too.